Yeah, hi folks, this is Martin from the photoacademy.eu, and on this video tutorial I show you how you can neutralize your image for the following post-processing. I think it's better to have a neutral image, even if you're on that side that you like to have a color cast in your image. For me, it's better to have a neutral image to start with. And at the same time, I will show you how you can set the white and the black point in the image to have a good starting point for the following contrast settings or whatever you want, and especially that you have a good starting point if you want to print the image. Yeah, the white and the black point is already set, but I show you how I did it. It's very easy. Some of you know that already, and for the other one I explain it for you. You have the adjustment layer threshold, and here with this slider you can have a look for the pixels that are completely black or completely white. And here on the left hand side you have all the black pixels that will shown up on the screen, and you can choose whatever area you like to have for the darkest point. I did it on that point here, and on the other hand side you have all the white pixels, and you can choose an area that is not so important for you, that it's okay for you that it's completely white, like this point here. And you can take a look. It's a small area, it's not so important. I never choose an area in the sky or in important subjects. So this little bag on the ground, it's okay for me. Yeah, and after that you can close the layer. You don't need it anymore, or you can leave it here for future projects on that image. Yeah, now you have the black point and the white point, and you can use your color pickers from, for example, from a curve. For the white point, you double click the color checker, the color picker or the eyedropper tool, sorry. So you double click it, and I always set that point to 243 for the all RGBs, or much easier to type, it's the 96 for the L. So that is much easier for me to type it in, and this is not completely 100% white, it's a little bit under it, so it's good for your printing. And the same you do for the black point. You double click the eyedropper tool, and here you set up 14 for all RGBs, or you can type in the 4 for the L, and even 6% for the B here, for the HSB is okay as well. Yeah, after you have done that, you can choose one of them. At first we like to choose the black one, set the point, then we take the white one and set the point, and now you have a lower contrast for that image, but it's better to have this lower contrast to start with. So you can see we open up the shadows a little bit, so you can start with all your settings for the adjustment layers, and on the end you can choose the contrast you like, or you print it for the test print or whatever. Yeah, but we want to set a neutral gray for this image, and this is a little bit tricky. You have this eyedropper tool here, you can pick up a neutral point and set it. But what point, which pixel here is neutral, or as close as neutral as it can be? And for this I have a little trick for you. We close down the curve for a moment and we set up a new layer. I have it already done, but I show you how you can do it. You go up to layers, new layer, and here you choose for the blending mode an overlay. And now you can check this box here, this little guy, fill with neutral 50% gray. And if you do this, you have a layer filled with 50% gray, and you can see it if you change the blending mode to normal. Yeah, and if we changing the blending mode to difference, you have a funny image, but this blending mode difference will help you to find a neutral point or something that is very, very close to a 50% gray. And everything that is black or as black as it can be, this is a very good point for you to sample the neutral gray from. And we can uncheck this. So this here on the roof is maybe something. This here on the side was very dark. Some areas down here, the structures of this house are very dark. If we zoom in on the 100%, there are some very, very dark blacks, so this might be neutral as well. You can see the blacks over here, and some areas over here are nearly black. We zoom out again, and we're choosing our color sample tool to set a point, and for this, zoom in again on 100%. Like to choose an area up here on the roof. Take this one, go back, and we can uncheck this layer. We don't need it. Now we can go in our curve and sample that point with the gray eyedropper here. And even if we take a point here on the side, we have a changing, or a point here. And if you now you see, if I click on the sky with different changes. Yeah, we go back to that point that we choose. I show you this area here, or that area there, or this wall over here. So all these points you can get from the 50% gray layer on the difference blending mode. All these points will help you to find a neutral pixel or some neutral pixels in your image to sample a gray from. And this will help you to start with the neutral image. I choose this as much closer to a neutral area, I think. Yeah, now you have with this adjustment layer, you have a very close neutral image to start with, and now you can go in with another adjustment layer. I choose a curve here. Maybe you will warm it up a little bit so, or you only want to warm the highlights and not so much the darkest points, or you will have something more like a posterize effect or Polaroid effect. You can do whatever you want with this curve now you can set and color cast, but you are sure that you are very close to a neutral image. And you can see maybe here in the video, this is a very warm image. There's a little bit of a magenta here. And if I start up with the neutral curve, it's a little colder, and I can be sure that this is more neutral now as it was before. Even if your monitor is not so accurate, you can make sure that this curve will help you to have an okay image to start your processing, your work with the image. And now you can choose and color cast, and it's much easier for your eyes to have a neutral gray or a neutral image to start with. For your eyes, everything can be neutral. Everything for your eyes that might be white or black or gray, even if there's a little bit of a color cast in it. For your eyes, it can be a neutral point. And so it's important to start with something like that, or you can use this in the raw converter. But in the raw converter, you're not able to choose a gray point, or you have no helper to find a neutral point. Maybe it's a very colorful image. So I can recommend to go into the Photoshop and start with a gray layer in the blending mode difference to find the best point for you to sample the gray from. Yeah, this was it. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Goodbye.